how is this age that we live in ultimately going to be remembered 200 years from now, 500 years from now, 800 years from now? The only answer that still holds water is that we lived in the age of transitional technology. Culture ends up in fluxus because the technology is in fluxus.
And we are like, I want to say, the fifth person in the process to make a record. We have the lacquer manufacturer, we have the compounder, we have the cutting engineer, we have the electroplater, we have the printer, and then it all comes to us. From us it goes to whoever we're supposed to send it to, whether it be the distributor or the individual or the label, or it pans out from us.
All right. Cool. So like this was the newest Men record, and for the limited edition version we did, I think there was 8 different versions. So these were amazing, like that's like incredible. And we never post pictures of them either. The limited editions it's like kind of a rule. My pride and joy is the Eraserhead record. Like, it's been a dream of mine. It's really cool, man. The newest Cult of Youth record, it's funny, we had, the vellum that we had it printed on wasn't quite transparent enough. So we had to rub down every single one with baby oil in order to like make it more transparent. It's only a slight difference, but like kind of makes a huge difference. You can't get baby oil on your MP3s.
For the most part, the independent releases that I'm seeing are things that are genuinely kind of special, you know? And not to pick on major labels either, but I mean, there's a lot behind the scenes that are involved in why they choose these releases. For example, there's no returns on vinyl, right? So you're trying to sell as much vinyl immediately, sell out of it directly to stores, and they can't send it back to you, right? So that's why you have more and more major label involvement. It's a way to demand upfront sales, and then there's no way that you'll lose money on it because nobody can return it.
Stores like the HMV's, Tower Records, Virgin Mega Stores of the world, those things became irrelevant because they started selling lots of different things. And even though they started off as music stores, they didn't end up as music stores. And my favorite record stores have always been the ones that aren't necessarily completists, but that they're well curated and they help you discover new things. And I think the guys downstairs do a really good job of that.
A lot of the stuff that's produced for Record Store Day seems unnecessary and overpriced and superfluous. That's just my opinion. Some people are really into it, but for me, I see major labels coming out and putting out a 7-inch that costs $12 or $15, and that's just like absurd to me. And then you get people coming in who have come to record stores once a year and buy that without thinking, and it just seems like I feel like it could be better.
Yeah, Record Stores Day is great. I mean, when they saw that people were shopping less and less, it was criminal records. They decided to have this concept of doing a Record Store Day and reached out to everyone. It's hard to get people out the house to and then especially shopping. I mean, you want to shop, you go to Amazon, you buy stuff cheaper than it costs from the manufacturer sometimes. More people with big names that support it, the better. People are very fickle to follow other people and what they do and what they like and say. I mean, I did it when I was growing up Run DMC used to drink Old English 40 ounces, so we drank Old English 40 ounces, you know, and they wore Adidas, so we wore Adidas. So if, you know, if someone like Jack White or other people of that caliber are saying vinyl's cool, buy vinyl, people are gonna go buy it.
He's the ambassador, right, for Record Store Day? I don't know how I feel about it. It's just as silly as Record Store Day is, I suppose. Well, I mean, if you can buy your own pressing plant, I suppose you're allowed to press as many records as you like.
There's not that many production places for vinyl in the States anymore. So to have one of, I don't know, 12 to 15, maybe less, manufacturers be solely under this one guy's ideas of what he wants to put out. Yeah. I try to explain to a band why I don't have records on sale. They just think you're being cheap, you know, and it's not the case. It's like, I'm trying to give this guy money to make your record, but he won't because he's got 12 other things lined up, or somebody's paying him double to do this weird lathe cut for 100 things on rainbow swirly vinyl that he's gonna put on a balloon and throw over a bridge. That's why you don't have copies for tour, you know?
And progress is not mass unemployment. Progress is not just corporations left, right, and center with a Starbucks here, a McDonald's there, a 7-Eleven on every freaking corner. Yes, I do blame Bloomberg full-heartedly for it, and Koch, and Giuliani, of course, but
the city just cracked down. They don't want anyone hanging out, especially if you shop at a store like Fat Beats, you have a certain style to your clothes. They didn't want those kind of people around those areas. So they really cracked down hard.
It's funny because a real estate guy came in here. He's representing the landlord in a couple other spaces here. He's like, oh yeah, I heard you guys were like, your lease is coming up, you know, and he's like, I got a frozen yogurt. He literally told me, he's like, I got some national yogurt chain who interested in your space. Would you be willing to like move out, you know, for this? You know, and I told him no, I wasn't interested, you know.
We're closing, unfortunately. There's going to be a corporate frozen yogurt store, which actually offered us a little space in the back for 1/3 of the rent. But as it's corporate, you wouldn't be allowed to play your own music. You wouldn't be able to like demonstrate records for anybody. You couldn't really do much of anything. You'd just be like stuck in the back. You'll be like a little toy. Yeah, the relic in the back. Oh, yeah. Look what we've got. Our pet record store.
Not to be insensitive, but most of the record stores that are closing aren't really doing a great job. A lot of record store owner mentalities, and I've worked for many of them, is that if they sell something for less than the market value, they feel cheated. Like, they won't think about the fact that the person's walking out of there with a pile of records and they just made hundreds and hundreds of dollars because the resale value on used vinyl is usually 3 times. They're thinking more about how they lost $10 on a $40 record that was in there for 30 or something.
Bleecker Bob's had no interest in growing, like in keeping up with with the rest of the world. They had a payphone as their phone when I worked there still. Like literally, if I had to make a call, I'd have to put a quarter in the phone. It's an incredibly important store, and it's really, really a shame that it's gone. And it's just a shame that they couldn't get it together.
We're very conscious of being realistic about what a record store is in 2013. And, you know, we give almost everything a fair shot in the store first. But if we've got a $500 record, put it up on the wall, people see it, they get excited. Maybe some guy will buy it, probably not. You know, give it its time in the sun and then sell it on the internet because we have to make our money, you know.
It's a novelty culture. It's a novelty culture and a connoisseurship culture. And that is obviously so much a part of that adolescent and the young adult mind anyway, that you define yourself by that which you consume. And damn, like, you know, 2013 with like the whole new sincerity trend, the beards and the lumberjack shirts and the Louise Brooks smocks and the $11 candy bars and everybody's starting their own like homemade mustard company. There's no difference between, you know, homemade mustard and like some Upper East Side bitch buying a Prada handbag. It's the same kind of luxury consumption. There certainly is a component of this luxury consumption in the reigniting of the record store. But considering how much time we all spend in screen life, anything that brings us to meat space is ultimately good. And I can't really fuck too much with the new sincerity trend because that is young people trying to live an authentic life.
I'm sure the money that I took to set this company up and to do this, I could have invested it in something else with a larger margin on return. And, you know, I chose not to. And, you know, I'm okay with that. You know, we have this tremendous pool here in New York of talent. And I mean, lots of people are coming to New York and they're, you know, they have a tremendous amount of energy just spewing out of them. And some of it comes to us and we get to be the vessel to make their objects, which is wonderful. And I'm very happy to be that person, and I think it's an honor.
You have a whole staff. You have to get the rubber in, you have to melt down all the colored pellets, and then there's the water. It has to be you have to be zoned for industrial, and then who's going to oversee it, you know, and who wants to work under those conditions? The idea of owning a manufacturing plant gives me a heart attack even thinking about it.
Okay. Hello? Holy free holies. Yeah. Take care, Dan. Bye. That was Will's assistant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He'll say we're not competitors, but he had a heart attack from what I understand, and I haven't been able to communicate with him. It saddens me. The gist is it's not nice to see anyone exit the industry. I'd rather not see it.
And did it sound like?
It sounds like they're exiting, yeah.
To me, the core of this problem is the switch from vinyl to CD. Because many smart record executives, people like, you know, Mo Austin and Lenny Waronker, they were like, hey, wait a minute, why are we going to a format that is super easy to duplicate? Ones and zeros. Sooner or later, technology will catch up, and that means that the product will be valueless.
There's a lack of permanence in a digital file that even if you bought it on iTunes and own it, even with the cloud and everything, do I think I'm going to give my kids my files? Probably not, but I'll give them my vinyl.
Vinyl's still real sheet music. So when you do buy a piece of vinyl, you can say, I own music.
Records are not the cheeseburger of life, you know. They're not even like the French fries of life, or the lettuce and tomato of life, or the onion or pickle of life. They are literally the coleslaw of life. They're the refreshing bites that you take in between bites on the cheeseburger deluxe.
There's the two different Japanese sword makers, and one of them is a very angry guy, right? And he's just banging away, pounding, and making swords, right? And then there's like this kind of calm guy, and he's making swords. You know, he's putting energy into it, and he's having a cup of tea. And both of these swords are great, perfect. So the samurai goes and he buys this one, and the samurai goes and he buys that one, and the story is that the guy who's always angry, this sword is always coming out and always cutting someone, right? And the one that the guy is peacefully making, this sword is staying sheathed, and the issues are getting addressed without pulling out. So what I'm saying is that all of the energy that's put into these objects here, finally, like we're the culmination of all of these things. When it goes to get played, what's coming out is just good stuff.